Hello, and welcome back to another video. I'm not doing a British accent. And today is part 3 of our Harry Potter talk. So I originally called it, the first video I said Harry Potter review, but I decided to switch it to Harry Potter talk, because I kind of am reviewing it, but mostly I'm just talking about it. And we're on, obviously since it's part 3, book 3, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is actually my favorite Harry Potter movie. Not book. We haven't gotten there yet. But my favorite Harry Potter movie. So my movie ranking and my book ranking are very different. So if you want me to give you my my Harry Potter movie ranking in like a post or something on my YouTube channel, like I could post my movie ranking and then like next to it my book ranking, because that would be really cool. In my mind, that would be if you want to see the differences. And let me know what your favorite Harry Potter book is and Harry Potter movie is, because I'd like to know. So we're on to Prisoner of Azkaban, which is in my mind, the last book before things get crazy. This is the last, also it's like the last short book, because the rest of them are all like so stinking long. And this is this is the last book where things are somewhat normal. This is also the first book that doesn't have Voldemort in it. So we have Voldemort's in the first one, he's in the second one, in like different incarnations. In some, I can't think of the word. Just different versions of him. And then this one, there's no Voldemort. And then the rest of them, there's obviously Voldemort. So I have my plot pulled up because I reread this like forever ago. So it's not, it's fresh in my brain because I love Harry Potter, but not so much to where I feel like I might skip over some things. So, although the plot does that anyways. the summary of the plot at least. So we're going to go paragraph by paragraph on this, and I'll talk about some of my thoughts and opinions on certain things, or some scenes that may not be discussed in the plot that I personally like. Let's dive into this. So during the summer, Harry accidentally performed, oh, by the way, full spoiler warning. I don't know if I put that on the other 2 videos, but these are full spoilers. Like, I'm not gonna, also the series been out for forever. Full spoilers. So if you want to read the books without spoilers, do not watch these until after you read them. Anyways, back to the plot. During the summer, Harry accidentally performs magic at the home of his Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon by blowing up his Aunt Marge. Or Aunt Marge, I guess, if I want to say it the British way. Causing her to float into the sky. That's just fun. One, I'm like thinking about the scene in the book and also the scene in the movie. I love this movie. There are so many scenes in that movie that I love. Aunt Marge blowing up it like a balloon. Hermione punching Draco. I love that scene so much. All the time turner stuff are some of my favorite scenes. Also in the book, those are Hermione doesn't actually punch Draco in the book. I think she slaps him. But I digress. Anyways, so after this incident, Harry leaves their house and travels to London by the night bus. Is it Stan Turnpike? I definitely don't think that's accurate. Okay, that's the Leaky Cauldron. No, I need, what's his name? Stan something. It's Stan something, I know that. I also remember Ern a little bit. Where's Stan? My name is Stan Shunpike. So it's close. I called him Turnpike, which is a road thing. So Stan Shunpike, who, he actually comes back in the 7th book under the Imperious Curse. I won't say more about that until we get to there. Because in the movie, I'll talk about that when we get to the 7th book, but he does come back. The night bus was so cool. I'd totally ride the night bus, although I feel like I would probably get sick, like motion sick. Anyways, at London, he spends his summer there. That's such a random sentence, but okay. While staying at the Leaky Cauldron Inn, Harry is visited by Minister for Magic, Cornelius Fudge. So in the book, he's called the Minister for Magic, or Minister of Magic, depending on how he's addressed. Fudge becomes annoying in the 5th book. Honestly, he's kind of annoying in mainly the 5th book. Anyways, who warns him about Cornelius Fudge, who warns him about Sirius Black, a mass murderer who escaped the wizarding prison. That was called what? Azkaban. So that's a lot. So while Harry is staying at the Leaky Cauldron for the rest of his summer, he goes and buys all of his things and whatever, does all that stuff. I can't remember if it was like I think Harry had been at, no, I think it was right when Harry arrived at Leaky Cauldron and Cornelius Fudge showed up. I can't remember if it was right then or a little bit after. And then Sirius Black, as we all know and love, R.I.P. Again, foreshadowing the later books. He is considered a mass murderer, right? Because this gets explained later, but I'll talk about it now. Which actually he didn't. He was trying to kill Peter Pettigrew, who was the reason why Harry's parents are dead, but Harry doesn't know that. He just assumes, actually he doesn't even know at this point that Sirius was blamed for his parents' death. He has no idea. He just knows that Sirius Black is a murderer who escaped Azkaban. Azkaban is the wizarding prison. I think it's almost based off a little bit of Alcatraz, the prison off the coast of, I want to say San Francisco. And the fact that that's, again, school, stay in school, the fact that I still remember that fact from like forever ago, wow. And Azkaban, basically, its guards are Dementors, which we get into a little bit in a second. And he basically, so he was there since Harry was a baby. So he's been there for 13 years, because Harry's 13 in this. So he's been there for about 12 years. Because Harry was 1. Yes, 12 years. So, with Black at large, Dementors have been stationed at Hogwarts as a security measure. So, Dementors basically are these cloaked, creepy-looking figures that suck out your soul. Well, if they choose to give you the Dementor's kiss, it sucks out your soul. They feed off of your fears and your pain and your heartache. So when Harry interacts with one for the first time on the Hogwarts Express, he passes out because he has so much trauma in his past, in his childhood, and he hears his mother screaming. He hears his mother's death, pretty much. That's so dark, but he does. So that's interesting. And then Professor Lupin, the best Hogwarts professor. Fight me on that if you disagree. He's the best Hogwarts professor. I feel like Mad Eye would have been a close second if he wasn't a Polyjuice Potioned Barty Crouch Jr., but we'll talk about that when we get to the 4th book. So Lupin ends up dispelling the Dementor away using Expecto Patronum, one of Harry's favorite spells. He only has 2 good spells, and it's Expelliarmus and Expecto Patronum. If you know why I'm referencing that, because it's so funny to me. And then yada 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 yada. They get back to school, etc., etc. They watch the sorting. I think they actually do get to see the sorting in this one. And Hagrid gets promoted to Care Magical Creatures teacher because their previous teacher decided to retire due to him not wanting to lose any more limbs. And in there, at first, I'll just read it. Why am I referencing it? I'm just going to read it. During a Care Magical Creatures lesson with Hagrid, Draco Malfoy is injured after provoking a hippogriff named Buckbeak. Draco's father, Lucius Malfoy, gets Hagrid put on trial for owning a dangerous creature. It's Hagrid. He owns all kinds of dangerous creatures. But yeah, so we get a really cool scene with Harry and Buckbeak, where he gets to fly on his back, and it's really cool. And then Draco insults Buckbeak. So hippogriffs are, in Hagrid's words, very proud creatures. So if you insult them, they're gonna attack you because they're very proud and they're very they're majestic creatures. So Draco insults Buckbeak. I don't remember what he calls Buckbeak though. He insults him anyways, and he gets injured. I say injured. I'm pretty sure he just got scraped or scratched. I think I combined those 2 words. and the arm, and it probably was healed within like a couple of days, but he was milking it to try and get Hagrid in trouble. Because Draco was raised to not like any non-pureblood wizards by his idiot of a father. So Lucius Malfoy, being Draco's father, decides to, I can't just say Malfoy anymore, because we have Lucius Malfoy and Draco, obviously, so I'll say their first names just to make it a little bit easier for people to understand which Malfoy I'm talking about. And Hagrid gets put on trial because he owning Buckbeak. Harry repeatedly faints in the presence of Dementors, but is eventually taught by Professor Lupin, obviously, as I told you before, a new teacher, how to repel them using the Patronus Charm. So, they really do skim over such great scenes, or terrifying scenes. So, Harry, the reason why he asks Professor Lupin to teach him how to do the Patronus Charm is because after Harry's in a Quidditch match. It's a very rainy one. And Dementors come onto the field, and Harry passes out, as he did before. And, yeah, his broom gets destroyed. It falls into the Whomping Willow. The Whomping Willow was a tree from the second book that they crashed their car into. At the beginning of when they arrived at Hogwarts in the second book. So, yes, Harry asks Lupin to teach him how to use the Patronus Charm. When Harry is unable to participate in weekend... This is jumping. Okay. So, now we're on to... This is a long paragraph. When Harry is unable to participate in weekend trips to Hogsmeade, Fred and George give him a magical map that shows him how to get there using a secret passage. At the Three Broomsticks pub, Harry overhears that Sirius Black, is his godfather, that he betrayed Harry's parents to Voldemort, and now he seeks to kill Harry as well. That was a whole lot. So, Harry is unable to attend Hogsmeade because earlier on in the book, when he was still with his Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia, he asked Uncle Vernon to sign a permission slip to let him go to Hogsmeade. And Uncle Vernon's like, okay, I'll sign it if you don't do anything while Aunt Marge is here. Well, Harry did something while Aunt Marge was there, and he didn't end up getting it signed because he left. So Harry cannot go to Hogsmeade. Fred and George Weasley, Ron's twin older brothers, who are fantastic characters, give him the Marauders map, which again, very glossed over here. The Marauders map was created by Lupin, Black, Potter, and, well... Do I want to say that? I should probably say their fake names, or their animagus names. Isn't it like Padfoot? Wait. Wormtail, Moony. Wait, no. Messrs. Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs present to you the Marauders map. I was trying to remember that. So Moony is Professor Lupin. Padfoot is Sirius Black. Wormtail is Peter Pettigrew, and Prongs is James Potter, Harry's dad. So this map that he was given, he didn't know it at the time, but it was created by his father and his three best friends when he was at Hogwarts to help them with their mischief and shenanigans. So, yeah, basically, so the map shows everything in Hogwarts. It shows everyone where they're at in Hogwarts. It shows certain secret passages, but it doesn't show the Room of Requirement, which becomes somewhat key later on in, like, the sixth book. Sixth and seventh book, I guess. So he gets to go to Hogsmeade through a secret passage. He's wearing his invisibility cloak. And he sneaks into the three broomsticks and finds out through a talk between, I think it was Fudge, Professor McGonagall, the owner of the three broomsticks, Romilda Vane's a different character. I can't remember. It's something with an R. And finds out that, which this isn't true, obviously, but Harry believes it to be true and is very, very upset. When Ron's pet rat, Scabbers, disappears, he blames Hermione and her cat, Crookshanks. Oh, I have so many thoughts on Crookshanks, and this book is amazing. Ron and Hermione stop talking to each other, although Hermione is distraught when Ron survives an attack by Black inside the Gryffindor dormitory. After the attack, Black cannot be found. After Harry, Ron, and Hermione learn that Buckbeak will be executed, they console Hagrid, and Ron and Hermione resume their friendship. Ron also finds Scabbers, who is hiding in Hagrid's hut. As the friends make their way back to the castle, Ron is attacked by a large black dog, which drags him through the passageway leading to Hogsmeade. Again, I'll talk about that once I'm done reading this whole thing. Harry and Hermione give chase and find themselves in the Shrieking Shack. where the dog is revealed to be Black in his animagus form. Lupin arrives, and Black states that he intends to kill Scabbers, not Harry. He explains that Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew, who betrayed Harry's parents to Voldemort and framed Black for mass murder. Black and Lupin compel Pettigrew to transform him into his human form, then haul him back to Hogwarts. Whew! Okay, so that kind of just, like, Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew. Crookshanks! They did Crookshanks so dirty in the movie. I mean, you can't really do a cat POV, I guess, in a movie. But Crookshanks is a lot smarter of a cat than you'd think. Crookshanks was in cohorts. It's such a weird way of saying this. With Black when he was in dog form. Crookshanks knew that Sirius Black was not an actual dog, but an animagus. That's also how she knew that Scabbers was also not an actual rat. And why Scabbers kept trying to kill... Crookshanks kept trying to... Give me a second. Crookshanks, these have such weird names, kept trying to kill Scabbers under the, I won't say orders, but under the encouragement of Black, so it would make it easier for Black, but then, you know, he still kept trying to kill him himself. Or to bring Scabbers to Black. It was either one of those. I love that little storyline. It was great. Oh yeah, Ron gets attacked by Sirius because he had Scabbers with him. Or he thought he had Scabbers with him. Obviously, he didn't. And they console Hagrid because Buckbeak is going to be killed, executed because of stupid Lucius Malfoy. And Ron is attacked by a large black dog, aka Sirius Black, which they get dragged into the Whomping Willow. So underneath the Whomping Willow is a passageway to the Shrieking Shack, which is in Hogsmeade. It's like on the outskirts of Hogsmeade. I don't know if this is just like fan lore or actually accurate that the Whomping Willow was planted over that entrance for Lupin when he came to Hogwarts so that he'd have a place to go to transform on the full moons. Again, I don't know if that's just fan lore or if that's actually canon. I can't remember. I feel like it's canon because that would make so much sense as to how they knew how to get in there. And then, yeah, like, they figure out, they explain to Harry that this is actually what happened, and they turn Pettigrew into his human form, and they get him. Actually, Snape, Professor Snape, has shown up at this time, and Harry knocked him out with using his brother arms, weirdly enough, so that they could keep talking and figure out, like, okay, wait, what's going on? Like, tell me the truth. And one of my favorite Ron scenes in this whole book is when... So Ron's leg is broken, by the way. It's broken and bleeding because Sirius dragged him through a hole. And Hermione's like, that's not anger. Like, Harry's getting kind of annoyed at Sirius, obviously, because he believes that he killed his parents. And Hermione's like, that's not anger the mass murderer right now. And Ron's like, if you want to kill Harry, you're gonna have to go through me. And why they switched Hermione and Ron in the movie, I don't know, but it just ruined Ron's character, because Ron was extremely brave in that moment. He could barely even stand, and he was standing up for Harry, and justice for Ron, because that was a great scene. So I don't really feel like I have a whole lot more to talk about there, other than justice for Ron. On the way to the castle, the full moon causes Lupin to transform into a werewolf, so Professor Lupin is a werewolf. And how that happened, he was bitten by Greyback, I can't remember his first name, when Lupin was a child, and so every full moon he gets turned into a werewolf. He's had to live with that his whole life. Or not his whole life, but most of his life, because he got it when he was really little. Pettigrew escapes and is pursued by Black, Harry and Hermione, who encounter Dementors is pursued by Black, Harry, and Hermione, who encounter Dementors and lose consciousness. They awaken in the castle where Black is now being held captive. Harry and Hermione proclaim his innocence to Dumbledore, who suggests using Hermione's time turner. Harry and Hermione travel back in time, save both Black and Buckbeak, who fly away together. Snape blames Lupin for Black's disappearance and makes his werewolf identity public, which forces Lupin to resign. On the train back to London, Harry receives a letter from Black explaining his gratitude for saving his life. Or expressing his gratitude for saving his life. So, time turners. Oh, I want one so bad. Actually, no, I don't. I feel like that'd be way too much responsibility, but that would be cool, nonetheless. So basically, Lupin turns into a werewolf. and they're all like freaking out, like, oh, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Pettigrew escapes, and then Lupin kind of runs off into the woods. Black, Harry, and Hermione are trying to pursue Pettigrew, but then they end up at this lake where a bunch of Dementors are circling in and gonna try and suck the soul out of Sirius Black. And Harry and Hermione, like, get, knocked out because they're like, oh my word, so many Dementors at one point that they get overwhelmed. They awaken in the hospital wing with Ron as well, him being taken care of with his leg. Obviously, he cannot join them in the Time Turner stuff, so he's still there. Dumbledore comes in and visits them. Hermione and Harry are like, Black's innocent, it's Pettigrew, da-da-da-da-da. And Dumbledore's like, very mysterious as Dumbledore is. Just simplifying it, tells Hermione to use her Time Turner. So there's a whole thing in this book where Hermione has a lot of different classes, and majority of them happen at the exact same time. And Ron and Harry are like, specifically Ron, he's like, how are you getting into all these classes? These two are at the exact same time. How did you do it? And she's like gaslighting them, like, no one can be in two places at once. What are you talking about? It's so great. So she's been using this Time Turner to get to both of her classes. Professor McGonagall is the one who got permission for Hermione to have a Time Turner, which I feel like Professor McGonagall is great. So Harry and Hermione travel back in time. So the scenes of these are really cool. It's part of the reason why I really love this movie is because of how they did the book too. It's a great part of the book, but I love the movie because of just like the attention to detail they put into the Time Turner scenes, where the future Harry and Hermione are not looking at, but like observing past Harry and Hermione and Ron. It's so great. So they save Buckbeak first. They go and wow the Minister of Magic and the Executioner and Dumbledore and Hagrid's hut with Hagrid, talking to him about like reading off the ordinance of the execution, whatever. They save Buckbeak so that Hagrid can't be blamed for setting Buckbeak free. He just disappeared. And they use Buckbeak to get Black out of the tower in Hogwarts that he was imprisoned in, and they sent him on his way. Snape, as I said earlier, was actually in that scene in the Shrieking Shack, but it didn't say that here. Blames Lupin because Lupin and Black were friends at school, and Snape knew this because he went to school around the same time as them, and he was bullied by them. Just lets everybody know that Lupin's a werewolf. So Lupin can no longer be a teacher at Hogwarts because parents do not trust a werewolf to teach their children, which is valid. And then Harry receives a letter from Black on his way home from Hogwarts, and him just, it's a sweet note. I think I can find it probably. That's all the way at the very end of the book. Yeah, I'll read it for you because it's such a sweet note. Dear Harry, I hope this finds you before you reach your aunt and uncle. I don't know whether they're used to owl post. No, they're not. Book 1 reference there. Buckbeak and I are in hiding. I won't tell you where in case this falls into the wrong hands. I have some doubt about the owl's reliability, but he is the best I could find, and he did seem eager for the job. I believe the Dementors are still searching for me, but they haven't a hope of finding me here. I'm planning to allow some muggles to glimpse me soon, a long way from Hogwarts, so that the security on the castle will be lifted. There is something I never got around to telling you during our brief meeting. It was I who sent you the firebolt, which that was an earlier on scene. Harry got a firebolt mysteriously and didn't know who it was from. So they were testing if it was jinxed. It was a whole thing. Crookshanks took the order to the owl office for me. I used your name but told them to take the gold from Gringotts Vault number 711, my own. Please consider it as 13th birthday's worth of presents from your godfather. I would always like to apologize for the fright I think I gave you that night last year when you left your uncle's house. I had only hoped to get a glimpse of you before starting my journey north, but I think the sight of me alarmed you. So this is a reference to when Harry is leaving the Dursleys, this giant dog scares him, and it's serious. I am enclosing something else for you, which I think will make your next year at Hogwarts more enjoyable. If ever you need me, send word. Your owl will find me. I will write again soon. Sirius. And then here's what he did to make the next year at Hogwarts more enjoyable. I, Sirius Black, Harry Potter's godfather, hereby give him permission to visit Hogsmeade on weekends. Oh, that was so sweet. So in the end, Sirius becomes a well. I don't want to talk about Sirius's actions in the fourth book just yet, because we're not talking about the fourth book. But he does kind of, he's very reckless in the fourth book, and a little bit of the fifth. He's better in the fifth one, but very reckless in the fourth one. But yeah, so that kind of explains how Harry's able to go to Hogsmeade in future books, is because he got permission from his godfather. And he gave it to Dumbledore because Dumbledore knows that Black's innocent. So he gave it to someone he knew he could trust, and not just like a random teacher being like, how did you get this? Are you in cohorts with a mass murderer? Like, no, I'm not. I'm not. It would be so confusing. But yeah, so that's the third Harry Potter book, The Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't really, okay, so I have 2 as my least favorite, so 2's 7. 1 is 6. Honestly, this is about a 4. This is 4 for me, which is a shocker. Because I'm like, oh, so there's... Yeah, so we have... I'll obviously be over here. So, 7, like my least favorite, Chamber of Secrets. Then it goes Philosopher's Stone. Then it goes blank at 5. And then 4 is Prisoner of Azkaban. Yes, yeah, that should work. Because I'm realizing, like, I don't remember what rating I gave this book, again, because I wasn't doing ratings at the time. But I feel like if I had to, I'd probably give it, like, a 4.5. It's a pretty good book. It's not my absolute favorite. I definitely would have given 5 stars to some other books. Some of the later books. But it's still, well, maybe not, okay, maybe 3.5. Because it's still really good. I do a lot of 3 stars, I've realized. Because it's just kind of my average rating of, like, I liked it. I didn't hate it. It was good. It was average. This is actually my shortest talk. I feel like the other 2 are really long. I think it's because this book, in general, doesn't have a whole lot of lore to it. Other than, like, you finding out about, Harry's father and his friend group at the time, when he was a kid, in Hogwarts, a student, and Black. There's not a whole lot of lore dropped in this book, while, especially in the latter 3 or 4 books, there's a lot of lore, there's a lot of, like, whoa, this is insane. I don't think I explained what an animagus is, which can confuse some people. So, Professor McGonagall's actually an animagus, but she is a registered animagus. So, an animagus is someone who can turn themselves into an animal form. And I don't think they can choose what form they get. I think it just kind of happens. It's not fully explained what an animagus is. I feel like I could pull up what an animagus is, though. An animagus is a wizard who can turn into a particular animal at will. This ability is acquired by magical means. By law, all British animagi, the plural form for animagus, must register with the Ministry of Magic. During the course of the series, several unregistered animagi are depicted, including James Potter, Sirius Black, Peter Pettigrew, and Rita Skeeter, which that comes in the 4th book. Minerva McGonagall is a registered animagus who takes the form of a domestic cat. A wizard's animagus form is determined by their personality. Well, that makes sense. Peter Pettigrew's a rat. He ratted people out. So that makes sense. So there we go. There's how what an animagus is. I forgot about Rita Skeeter. I forgot that she was an animagus. I read the 4th book in, like, February, so I don't really remember who. That was such a big plot point that they took out of the movie, by the way. I do kind of want to talk a little bit about this movie because it is my favorite Harry Potter movie. It's probably weirds out a lot of people that, like, why is the 3rd one your favorite? Because it's a great movie. They had to do a lot of stuff with time travel, and making sure everything kind of correlates, kind of works, and flows in a way where you're like, yeah, I can see that happening. I can see that making sense. Now, did they change a lot of things? Yes. Did they take away Ron's big moment? Definitely. I would never stop fighting for Ron in that moment. If they don't put that in the show, in season 3 of the show, if that scene is not 100% how it is in this book, I will be annoyed. Give Ron the character he is. The character he is in my heart is in this book. Do not mess it up like the movies did. Ron is so much more than just a hungry boy. Okay? He is such a great character. Such a great character. I'll defend Ginny when Ginny becomes a big thing, which is probably the 5th or 6th book. Because her character was not very well done in the movies either. So I will defend Ginny For all those being like, why aren't you defending Ginny? Because she's not in any of this yet. She was only in the second one, and it was really hard to defend her because her plot in the second one wasn't something that they messed up in that book. They did, in the second movie, they did Ginny's storyline in that, like, perfectly. I can't think of anything, they didn't do anything wrong because she was such a minor character. She becomes a bigger character in the latter books, so I'll talk more about her character when I get there, when we get there. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching this half an hour long video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please, comment down below what's your favorite Harry Potter movie and what's your favorite Harry Potter book. I'd love to know. I won't be telling you guys that because you'll have to stick to the end of this series to find out which is my favorite Harry Potter book. But if you want me to, I could do a post on my channel. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do this, of my tier ranking of the movies. I can do that because that's not difficult, because the movies in my mind are very different. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!